This is the first episode of Hey, but what do I know?
This is going to be a lot of me trying to get my thoughts in order, so please be warned. I'm not going to edit anything, I'm just letting y'all know.
So I wanted to start a podcast to talk about different artists that I was interested in, what makes them interesting, and why I want to talk about them. So we're going to go through a couple points, with the first artist being DPR. Yes, who surprised? No one. I'm going to try and condense this as much as possible, but we're going to get straight to it. Okay, so I said he was the best artist of the 2020s. I will explain why before people get defensive. There's other great artists. I know. My opinion, though, first artist in the 2020s, because he debuted in 2021, he is the best artist of the 2020s for me. I genuinely believe. Okay, first point. Yes, his attention to detail, from the coloring of the videos to adding all of the other like production Easter eggs and other songs to weave them in together and make this elaborate story that could be never ending depending on your perspective, and it just gives you something to really think about. Yes, and it's between projects, like to be able to weave together not just songs on one album, but multiple songs on different albums in one like mega project takes so much effort. Like I've seen footage of him doing all of the framework in editing videos and like going literally frame by frame in like an hour's worth of footage to condense it down to what it is now that we see. And that takes so much patience. I know when I edit my own videos, and I don't even edit that much. I don't even do that much compared to him. And even I get kind of fatigued in the middle of it. Even when I'm trying to be anal, like I still get kind of like, okay, I'm kind of done. I cannot imagine the amount of work he does. I genuinely can't. Signature production without repetitive sounds. That's the craziest part to me, because music has been done so many times. It's kind of hard to hear something you've never heard before. It's like, well, we've heard jazz, we've heard rap, we've heard combinations of rap and this and that and alternative. You know, there's just, as we've gone farther into music and farther into time in general, it's just harder and harder to come across anything original. Naturally, it's not anybody's fault. But he has made this usage of like the filtered voices with different meanings. And then, like I said, using them, like I said, the first point, but also just making that part of his signature sound. Even like some of like the that he does in a lot of songs, even for other artists. When I listened to Do or Die, that was the first thing I realized. I was like, that's what makes the like signature DPR Ian vocal. Like he has signature vocals that immediately make me think of him. And I realized that, oh yeah, that's him. That's gotta be his voice. Like that only he does those kind of ad-libs, or like that kind of arrangement, that kind of like, he just has a musical signature, which is so hard. And yes, I have notes. It's so hard. Like I just don't see that. Seriously, it's like how, you know how Pharrell has his production signature with the Fort in-count beats, right? And you know Pharrell produced the song. It's the same idea with him, but he's a singer. And obviously he's more than a singer. He's a director and a production artist. Honestly, he does so much work in the background. But to be able to have that as an artist and not just one thing is, yeah. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, I said that already. Sometimes I talk over myself. The characterizations of his, like using his vocals to make different characters. I think that's so fucking cool. Maybe I'm wrong, but from what I've realized is he uses different voices and then layers them all on top of each other and then separates them to make different expressions. Kind of like how like Mr. Insanity is the higher voice and Mido is the lower voice. Even during his lives, you see, well, you don't see him, but you hear him pitch his voice like up and down during like his conversations. And I just think to myself, like, that's something you can't teach. Like, having that kind of expression is crazy. Not to be funny, but it's really really just mind-blowing to me. Maybe I'm a simpleton. But it's crazy to me. I'm like, the fact that he pushes his artistry so far and so lengthy, and just, that's one of my favorite things about him, that he does that. That he uses those different plugins on his vocals to make not just different, obviously, pitch sounds, but have them mean something depending on where he puts them in which song. Like, that's incredible. That's so incredibly thought out. And I love him for that. I love him for a lot of reasons. Okay. Oh, his ability to storytell outside of the music. This is important. Good job, Macy. This is an important one. The colors, like the clothes, the visual connections, the way, like, even when I was watching the last video he had, and he had the flashes of green and red and blue, and then it made me think about, what song is it from the first album? He mentions green, red, and blue in the song. I should know this. Anyways, you know what song I'm talking about. Point is, the fact that he's able to create a story outside of the music. It's not just music videos, because, like, yeah, people make music videos, right? And they're like, oh, boy likes girl, and then conflict, and then we separate and live lives and come back together. Like, yeah, we know, like, people can tell a story in a music video, but I'm talking about the outside details people do not think about. The color grading of the video. Incredible. Every time I look at his videos, I think to myself, damn, he's really fucking good at this color shit. I know that sounds funny, but, like, the color shit really sticks out to me. It's one of the top 3 things I notice when I look at the video is the way it's edited. Yes, the cut frame, sure, but the coloring. I'm like, he'll change colors at certain parts of the song, not just the drop of the song, which is predictable, but I mean literally in a transitional part lyrically of the song. Like, I sound like a fake fan. I swear I watched the video. I just can't think of each one right now. I can see it in my brain, but I can't pick it out right now. Okay. I'll probably edit it in later. Point is, he's really fucking good at that. That's one of my favorite things. Translation of symbolism from other characters to live. See, I be reading my own points and then I'm like, yes, bitch. Oh, okay. So the translation of symbolism of Mito and other characters into the live performances. I love the way he, like, with the wings that he puts on during the show, or like the red, the black, like having, like I said, the colors or whatever. And then even in the choreo, how the transitions with the other dancers, creating like the conflict within, like, I really like how he also does it really well in the dancing. And just like in Mr. Insanity, right? The dance is very quirky. It's very, like, specific to something Mr. Insanity would do. You know? Same way, like, Mito's dances are very intense in a very darker way. He has a lot of shadows in his performance. He has a lot of, like, that just matters to me. That's so fucking important, dude. Oh my god, I love him so much. Okay, yeah, I said that already. Yeah. His commitment to his vision. Oh my god. I mean, obviously, he's committed to it, because he would have to be committed to it to do it at this fucking level. Nobody who does artist weaving and detailing at this level does not do it because they aren't committed. So it sounds very, like, flippant to say, because every artist is passionate about their stuff. Every artist is committed to their craft. No, they're not, by the way, but I know that's a talking point a lot of people have. But being able to execute it as well. And I think his background in directing and producing and editing and videography and, noticing, like, all his background has really been such a good wheelhouse for his own artistry to be able to execute what he really wants to say, just how he wants to, though. Because sometimes, even for myself, like, you can have an idea, you can have a vision, or like something that you want to execute, but you don't really know how, or you don't know what direction to do it. So of course you have other people to help you. And I'm not trying to say he doesn't have a team. He does have a team of people, but the vision is his. The vision is his. And that, it's really hard to explain how important it is to not only have the vision, but stick to it to such a fucking T. Like, I don't know him personally, but I doubt anybody could tell him, like, to change his vision. Like, I know when he's dead set on something, being a certain way, looking a certain way, sounding a certain way, even the transitions being a certain way, even the detailing in the, like, the editing, like the shaking in the Limbo video, right? Every time I notice that in the videos, when he starts to have a bit of a, what's it called? I wouldn't know what to call it because I'm not him. But it's like he's changing in a way, and anytime he goes through that emotional dip, and then the camera shakes and around his head, and then skins, you see it in skins, like he starts to feel this change in his head, and the camera kind of moves in a certain way. It's not even a shake, it's like a warp kind of shatter thing, whatever. He points that kind of stuff out to do at those moments because only he knows what that means. Like, I'm explaining it, but I'm only explaining it to the extent that I understand it. Only he knows what that really, really, really means to him. And I can't even explain to the nth degree how amazing that is. To have something so close to your heart, to have something that's so yours, and you've put so much of that amount of thought into it and given it to the world, is genuinely a selfless thing to do. Obviously, you make money from it, so you know you're gonna do that. But most people make money from music that they don't put, 100% into. I mean, let's be serious. There's a lot of people who make money. There's a lot of people who go on tour and have fans, and maybe like 50% of themselves is in it, right? Or like a percentage that they can accept or they can allow. And he puts everything. It is him. The art is him. A lot of artists, they separate them from the art. There's a them, and then there's the artist. Or like there's a them and there's an alter ego that they separate from themselves. Because having an alter ego is fine. Or like having like a person that you cling on to that you feel like is related to you is good. But a lot of the time people are like, oh no, it's not related to me. That's like the me on stage. There's always this bit of a 80%, 75%, 50%. It's never all the way. Like they don't put their hands and their feet in it. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, okay. Oh, yes. Yes. I love that as much as he gives, like I was saying, in his music, he still allows a room for interpretation and inquisitiveness on the listener's side. He lets the mystery be. And mystery is missing in art right now. Oh my God. Even in like, just a caveat, like even like film. You put the trailer out and they put the whole film in the 2 minutes. I'd be so fucking mad. Because like, I figure out the whole thing in the trailer. Now I'm bored, thanks. Now I don't want to watch it. I already watched it. I saw what happens. It's not important anymore. It's not interesting. And that's how I feel about music too. I'm very analytical. I'm very, like, people who know me know I don't want to know anything about anything. I just want to jump into it because I want to be surprised. It's very rare to be surprised by music now. A lot of artists are good. I'm not saying this to like pedestal anyone, right? I'm just showing a difference. But it's very like, these are noodles. This is cheese. What am I making? Mac and cheese. You're making mac and cheese. Like it's not interesting. There's no evolution. There's no surprise. I've never heard a song and been like, what the fuck? I can't believe they did that. I've never heard that before. Or like, I can't believe they said that, or like they used that transition, they used that key change, that modulation, they used that octave change, they did this or they did that, and I didn't see that coming, I didn't expect this. Like, there's just a lot of, this is a sandwich. I hope that's making sense. Like, it's just there. It's not really something you have to think about. And he does such a good job at making that happen. Like, you want to. Because a lot of people who want to be, this might be a hot take. A lot of artists who want to be taken as that kind of artist kind of try and shove it down people's throats. Like, I'm interesting. You guys just don't get it. I am this. I am that. They don't really give people a chance to come up with that idea themselves. Let the people decide if you're interesting. Let the people decide if you're really interesting or not. We will let you know, trust me. But he really is. Because it comes to him naturally. Because it is him. It's literally him. And I think that's the only way to really garner that special, that magic, that unattainable, untouchable, no one else can do this factor, is you have to be 100. You can't 80% this. This ain't no 80% job. You can't go and clock in and then sit on your phone on Twitter. You know, like we do it at regular jobs because we don't care and we only put about 50% into it, you know? If you want this kind of job to fucking mean something for real, you gotta put everything in it. And that includes mystery. I think mystery is the most important part. Let me think. You're not even letting me think. Everything's just easy bake oven. Okay. All right. I think this is the most important. Patience. Ooh, yes. Like I mentioned before, he waits to release, like to properly release and thoroughly express himself. And yeah, that's very important. Because I feel like a lot of people feel like they have to just pump out music to keep people's attention. And they just have to keep, you know, regurgitating whatever they can find. Like, oh, Lord. Sorry. Because I really love art and I really love music and film and really anything that has to do with art, I notice these kind of patterns in all of the art forms. Like I said, not just in music, and people who write books. Some of the books now. I could have a whole nother fucking hour rant about that. Anyways, they do not take their time to cultivate anything worthwhile. To anything that's going to last more than 5 seconds. And I'm not just talking about people who make short songs. I'm talking about people who cultivate an entire package of production, an entire project that's going to lead to another one that's properly sectioned out and put together with some meaning and not just a bunch of songs that you want to put out right now because one song you have is popular. Yeah, that seems to be happening right now. Is one song gets popular for somebody and then they want to drop an album of filler music, no concept. I'm sick of albums with no concept, by the way. Anyways, no concept. So I'm just hearing myself. I'm hearing myself say things I only say by myself. And no other thought put into it. It's just an album to wrap around this one single. It's like I have this one popular song that needs like 10 friends kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they just throw a bunch of random songs and the arranging is bad, the order is bad, and they don't really serve much of a purpose other than to just be a plate for the original popular song to sit on at the dinner table. And okay, analogy. Yeah. It's just a waste of time for me. And I don't like my time being wasted. It's the only thing you can't get back. So that bothers me. Anyways. Oh my God. I'm going to cut this up. I Another good point, bitch. I'm not cutting it. I said I was gonna cut it. I'm not. Because it's his world. Yeah. It's unique and unpredictable because it's his story and only he can really tell it because only he really knows. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said earlier. That's what makes him inspiring and interesting. Damn, he keeps my attention for real. Not a lot of things do. And that's very original to me. Being able to do that in your own way, not just trying to keep people's attention by regurgitating a bunch of A-B-C-A music. Like, sorry, that's like pop song structure. That's really boring. It just really doesn't. And sometimes we need that, right? Sometimes we just need thoughtless music that is there for us to be happy and dance, right? But not all the time. There needs to be variety. And I think that makes a pretty good artist, but I don't think it makes it the best artist. Because a lot of people can do that. A lot of people can just make a song that's thoughtless. That doesn't mean you're bad. It's just, once again, it's macaroni and cheese. It's cheese and noodles. It's simple. Anybody can make it. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel. Anybody can make it, bitch. And that's why it's not special. I think people get mad when you say that because they're like, well, just because they're not an artist that makes deep music or just because they're not an artist that does it like this other person, that does not mean they're a bad artist. I didn't say they were a bad artist. They're not an interesting one. They're doing something anybody else who is an artist could do. And that's my problem. It's like, well, if I wanted to listen to the same song 15 times, I could have just put that same one that I heard the first time on loop. Like, we need some progression here. Oh, yes. It's just lacking originality and attention for me. Like, yeah, I want to think, I want to be surprised, I want to be confused, and I want to ask questions, I want to be enticed. Like, I want something that's going to be like, this is all the reasons I've already said before, obviously. That's why I think he's the best artist of the 2020s. Like, these are the reasons, right? But I think that's one of the main reasons I've really paid attention to him. I'm like, oh, damn. He's a good singer. Yeah. I like his writing. Sure. But he really gets my attention with the way he executes his art. Like, for real. When I hear some of his songs, I want to just, like, I just want to give up. Because I'm like, it's so him, and it's so fucking good, and the arrangement's so good. It makes me mad. I'm like, damn, this nigga's good. Okay. So this is just my personal opinions of him, like, in general. I said popularity has nothing to do with it, not his looks, because, I mean, yeah, he's really international recently. But it's his mind and his passion and his honesty and his bravery to not only share his personal struggles, but to believe fully in them within his art. Because, like I said, a lot of people like to separate that. They're like, okay, this is me, this is my personal, and then this is my art. And it's like, there's like a two separate idea. And he really has believed in putting himself fully in it. And like, yeah, that's everything I want. Yeah, and he believes in himself. Yeah. If he wanted to just be famous, he could have gotten it an easier way, because he has blown up really a lot recently. And he could have, like I said, he could have done it a much easier way a long time ago, but he stuck to the plan. He stuck to the project and his vision of what he wanted this to be. And, oh, God, yeah. God, it's so inspirational. It is, and it's why he is, it is why who he is who he is. Like, you just can't really find that very often. Yeah, his story is like a slow burn to a much bigger flame, and I'm always running after the stars to catch the moon because I want to see it too. Yeah. Yeah, I think I wrote this at like 3 a.m. I got real philosophical. I got real philosophical at the end. But it's true. It's true. Like, he's made me just always chase after that thing that whatever he's dangling out there. It's like, what is it? Where's it going? What does it mean? What is it doing? I like it, but like, what else? And that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I think that's so cool. Because, yeah, I like it. I like a lot of stuff. But, like, why? And how is this? And how is this put together? And what does it mean to be put together this way? And what do I think it means? Because I'm just a person looking in, from the outside. And what I'm thinking, what he thinking? Like, that always makes me just, I don't know why I love that so much. It's like when you watch a film. This is my favorite kind of film. Most people hate it, right? It's like when you watch a film and it has an ambiguous ending. Like it doesn't necessarily have a definitive, like, this is what this movie meant. Yay. Or like, this is what happened after this huge event of the peak of the movie and end. It just kind of lets you interpret the ending the way you want. And it just makes me like watch the movie, like Place Beyond the Pines. I watched that movie so many times because there's really no ending. It just kind of stops at this middle ground part. And you get to decide what it means, where it goes. Whether you're right or not about it doesn't really matter, actually. But I mean, I still like to be a little curious, but like, yeah, that's the best art. Or like when you're listening to a song and the chord progression has no resolve. Oh, it has no resolve. So it's just stuck in that minor into another minor. There's no major resolve. I hate it and I love it. Because I guess that's just my personality. So I guess my personality just kind of matches his artistry, and that's why I like it so much. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And that's what I wanted to rant about. It's a really big passion of mine that I can talk about for a long time. Obviously, I've been talking about it for almost 30 minutes. Wow, I really said that. I said his story as an artist is like a slow burn to a much bigger flame. Why was I cooking? Anyways. And I'm always running after it to catch the moon because I can't wait to see it too. Like, I want to see whatever he's doing all the time. Not in like a creepy way, not like in his house. I mean, like, his music. I realized I said that and it sounded crazy. Yeah. That's my DPR rant and why I think he's untouchable right now. Also, the movie thing. Can we talk about the movie thing? I have asked so many questions about this movie. Yeah, I need to know about this movie that he's going to be coming out with in the far future, which is so nice because when you produce stuff really quickly, it could mean two things, right? Either you're very fucking efficient or you're just slapping some shit together. So I'd rather him take his time and make something I want to watch. Sounds so like... I sound so... Okay. Anyways, I'm happy he's really taking his time and not overworking himself to do everything all at one time. He might be, I don't know. But with the timing being pushed back, it seems as though he's giving him more time. Maybe we'll see the movie after the third album. Because I think the third album is going to come after the tour. And the tour is coming up because I'm going to the September 20th date. So I think the movie might be in 2027. Oh, shit. I pushed it back. Wait, that's far. Maybe 2026. I kind of... Whoa. I did not realize how far back I pushed that. Maybe 2026? And is there going to be other characters? Oh my god, I brought this up in the last video. He mentioned about there being other characters. Like, what are the other characters? Because we know some, obviously, but how many more? And are we gonna look into the background of those characters, or are those characters just gonna support the characters we already know? I'm gonna start another rant. If I don't stop. You see, but that's the stuff I love. I love that shit. Okay, that concludes episode 1 of But Hey, the fuck do I know? Thank you for listening. If you got this far, leave a heart or something in the comments.